Good morning and welcome to your first student orientation and welcome back to the first day of the 2020-2021 school year. I am one of your trainers. My name is Datoya Jones. I'm the sixth grade math teacher here at BFE and I am joined with
Good morning, I'm Mr. Robinson, and I am a seventh grade ELA teacher here at BFE. And I also welcome you back to the 2020-2021 school year.
Okay, for today's warm-up, we want to know what is the biggest challenge that you expect to encounter while learning from home this school year? Please type your response in today's student orientation assignment via Teams. Okay, today for student orientation day 1, we will cover the following 4 topics. Number 1, on-site expectations. Number 2, online norms. Number 3, logging into Microsoft Teams. And lastly, logging into daily educational websites. Please know that our objective is to help you develop a deeper understanding of what you're expected to do in order to learn effectively this upcoming school year. We will be implementing our distance learning platform in a uniform manner, and we are providing consistent instruction throughout all grade levels and classes. So therefore, by the time we're done with today's training, you should be able to understand the layout of the daily lesson, what's required of you daily. Also, you'll know how to log into the computer and Teams with ease, as well as locate and log into all educational sites. Please save your passwords and login info for all platforms and sites since you have a computer loaned to yourself. All right, so here we have the instructional layout, which consists of the 5 lesson components here on the screen. We have the warm-up, then the introduction of the standard or skill by your teacher, guided practice where you would get to collaborate with groups of your classmates, your independent practice where we will assess your level of mastery and we will know whether you can do it and do the work independently, as well as your exit ticket that will be done via Edulastic. For daily homework, it is pertinent that you pass at least 5 iReady lessons per week. Lessons are due every Saturday. Now, additional homework may be given at your teacher's discretion.
All right, so now we're shifting into on-site expectations. As you know, with distance learning, we have some students working from home and we have some students working on site in the building. So we do have two sets of expectations depending on what you or your child is how they're participating in school. And of course, this may change throughout the year, but as of now, here are our expectations for on-site. Students are to enter the class quietly, bring all required materials, remain seated unless given permission to do otherwise by their teacher. Listen and follow directions the first time. Be respectful of people and property. Raise your hand and wait for acknowledgement before speaking. And no eating or drinking. You are required to bring a fully charged computer, workbooks and or textbooks, any notebooks required for class, pens, and pencils. Please note, additional materials may be required per teacher's request. Here are our norms if you are working online for school this upcoming school year. Students are to log in on time daily with your microphones muted and your cameras on. I'm going to pause here for a second. It's incredibly important that your microphone is muted whenever you're entering into a class, because if it's not and there's background noise in your environment, it could cause a disruption to the learning environment. Also, it is the BFE expectation that your camera is turned on at all times for every lesson, unless you stepped away for a brief moment. Please note, parents and students, that teachers will be very strict on having the cameras turned on, and that is to ensure that all of our students are actively engaged in lessons at all times. Students are also to be prepared with all class materials and actively participate in lessons. Going along with having your camera turned on, you need to have a BFE shirt on or a uniform on, and you need to select a quiet workspace with no distractions in your home. Make sure that you are in a proper environment in your home, meaning a public space, either a kitchen, a dining room, or a living room. Please note that no inappropriate settings such as a bathroom or bedroom are permitted. You should join your classes daily from a public space. Please do not join from your bedroom or from a bathroom. Be respectful of others and use appropriate language at all times. Avoid the use of apps and devices such as cell phones, televisions, or etc. during class. You must also be in an upright position at a table or desk. Going back to the previous one, you cannot be in a bedroom. You should not be laying down at any point during your lesson. You must be in a public space, at a table or a desk at all times. No lounging on a couch. No eating or drinking. Please be advised that all online lessons are recorded daily per period. Be sure to monitor your environmental activity at all times. Daily materials. You are required to have a fully charged laptop, workbooks and or textbooks, notebooks, pens and pencils, and a dry erase board and markers. Please note, additional materials will be required per teacher's request.
Okay, now we will be discussing logging into Teams. Students will use this platform for daily instruction. Next, you will see 3 steps. Step 1, type the following URL into your address bar, and then you will click Sign In. For step 3, you will use the email address and password provided by the school in order to sign into Microsoft. For step 4, you will click the office grid here to the top left with the 9 dots in a square shape. Then you will click step 5, you will click the Teams icon. Lastly, for step 6, you only have to do this one time, and you will download the Windows app to your laptop by clicking Get the Windows app. Step 7, your teams will show up as such. Note that all of your teams will appear on this page, and each student will have at least 5 teams. So from there, you will simply select your team. And when I say team, I mean your class. So your period or the class that you belong in on your according to your schedule, that is the team that you will select. Step 4, logging into daily educational websites. Students will use the following websites for daily instructions. Now, we're only addressing those websites that are used in almost every class daily. There are additional websites that you may use depending on the teacher, according to the teacher's preference, and that is fine. But the 5 that we will use daily, we've made some shortcuts for you, and we're going to show you how to get to those. And I also want to let you guys know that when logging into these sites, please click remember or save the password to your computer for easy access. Since you have a personal computer to yourself, you are able to save your passwords. First up, we have Achieve 3000. You can either type this URL into your address bar, or you will find the shortcut in the general canvas underneath your team. So at the top where it says 2 more, we will click that arrow and we will find Achieve 3000, and then you can sign in here. Next, we have Edulastic. Edulastic is our assessment site and will be used to assess you daily via exit tickets, tests, quizzes. All will be done on Edulastic. You can either type this URL into your address bar, or once again, you will find it along the tabs in the general canvas of your class. Edulastic is located at the top where you see it here along the shortcut bar, and then you'll simply sign in, and notice it's checked remember me. You always want to check remember me so that you can sign in with ease daily. Okay, iReady. iReady, everyone is familiar with iReady, yet Microsoft is not too familiar with iReady. because Microsoft does not recognize iReady as one of their partnered websites. So therefore, you can either type this URL into your address bar, or iReady is located in a shortcut section along the tabs in your general canvas. Yet, it will say if your site isn't loading correctly, click here. So step one, you would click here. Then it'll prompt you saying this site won't load in our desktop app. They'll give you two options: go to the site or reload the tab. And we want to click go to the site. And then it'll bring us to the login page for iReady, where we will sign in here. And please don't forget, once again, to save your passwords if possible. Next, we have another familiar site that we have been using at BFE for years, iExcel. And you can type the following URL into your address bar. Please be sure to type Franklin at the end, which will connect you to the school's iExcel profile. Here, iExcel has been added to your shortcuts bar also. Once again, this is in the general canvas of your team along the tabs at the top. We have iExcel, and you'll simply have to sign in here and you are done. And please don't forget to check our favorite box, remember. Lastly, we have Study Island. For Study Island, you will become really familiar with this site this year. We want you to type the following URL into your address bar, or you can once again use the shortcut in the general canvas of your team, and you will simply sign in here.
We also have some additional sites that we would like to familiarize you with. Class Dojo, which is a site that we have used for years. Class Dojo allows parents to communicate with teachers and teachers to communicate with parents. It's also a behavior monitoring platform. Parents, you can easily check Class Dojo on a daily basis to see what points your child may have earned that day or what points they may have lost. Power School. Power School is a critical component to our daily operations because it allows us to input our attendance and also grades. This is perfect for you parents because you can monitor how your child is progressing throughout the year on a daily basis. You don't have to wait for progress reports or report cards because you can check your child's grades on a daily basis. Every time a teacher uploads a grade, it is saved in Power School. And you can access your child's Power School by using the login information given to you by the school. If you don't have Power School login access, reach out to your child's secretary, your child's campus's secretary. So if that is the elementary school, that's going to be Ms. Stepter in the main office. Or if your child is at the middle school, that's going to be Ms. Wilkins in the main office. That brings us to the end of today's orientation presentation. We thank you for your time and attention. Parents, if you have any additional questions or concerns, your first step should be to contact your child's homeroom teacher via Class Dojo or by using their email. If you and your child's homeroom teacher can't resolve your question or concern, then your next step should be to email the team's admin at loenola.us email account for additional support, and someone from our IT team will respond. Again, we thank you for your time and attention. I'm Mr. Robinson.
I am Miss Jones. Thank you and welcome to your 2020-2021 school year. Have a great year.